Good morning. Rise and shine, my friends. Today is Thursday, June 6th, and this is Wake Up with KERA News. I'm Katherine Hobbs. Thank you so much for starting your day with me today. Temps are picking back up today with a high of 95, and we're expecting a cloudy but sunny day. For the first morning in what feels like a very, very, very long time, I have the most stunning view of the sunrise from my balcony because all of this fog has lifted. There's some birds who nest in the tree kind of diagonal from my balcony, and I can hear them chirping away, and the air isn't too muggy, and it is just divine. It hasn't even hit 70 degrees yet, and basically this is my ideal summer morning. If waking up a couple of hours before the sun isn't your idea of a good day, I totally get that. I really do. But I also want to gently prod you into waking up early enough to enjoy a few sunrises this summer. Let me know if you do. I would love to see your sunrise pictures. And I firmly believe that getting that sunlight first thing in the morning just sets your day off for a really, really good start. Now, grab your coffee or whatever else you need to get your day going, and let's launch into the news you need to start your day. A KERA News investigation has found that some DART board members approved their own travel and may have taken personal trips at the taxpayers' expense. One DART board member spent more than $50,000 of agency funds for trips, including flights to Spain and Canada. Another used DART funds to travel to and from a second home in Denver just to attend board meetings in Dallas. This first came on our radar way back in September of 2023, and we then requested travel records from the agency and received redacted copies of records from 2019 to September 2023. They were released in February after DART saw a ruling from the Texas Attorney General on what could be made public, and since then, DART has revised its travel policy for board members. In a statement, Paul Wegman, who represents Plano on the board and chairs its finance committee, said the policy was definitely being abused. Texas Democrats are promising to make the November election all about reproductive rights. Texas Public Radio's David Martin Davies reports progressives are betting abortion will be the GOP's Achilles heel.
During a press call on Monday, Texas Democrats, including Congresswoman Veronica Escobar of El Paso, said the majority of Texans reject the ban on abortion, especially when it doesn't protect the life of the mother.
As we just saw, the court system essentially ruled that there are no exceptions.
Last week, the Republican-controlled state Supreme Court ruled against a group of women who had serious pregnancy complications but were denied medically necessary abortions.
And we just had special session after special session in Texas. I didn't see any discussion or debate around codifying those exceptions or those protections.
Texas Democratic Party Chair Gilberto Hinojosa said this weekend at their state party convention in El Paso, they will hammer the abortion issue.
We start off the convention speaking about abortion access and the importance of electing officials that are going to fight for a woman's freedom of choice.
According to a Texas Politics Project poll, 45% of Texas voters say abortion laws in Texas should be made less strict, while 27% said they should be more strict, and 21% said they should be left as they are now.
That was Texas Public Radio's David Martin Davies. In federal courts across Texas, powerful business interests and federal regulators are duking it out over the Biden administration's initiatives focused on consumer protection and their fair lending. KERA's Christopher Connolly says it's no coincidence these fights are happening here.
At the last State of the Union address, President Joe Biden said his administration is trying to bring down costs for regular people.
I'm also getting rid of junk fees, those hidden fees at the end of your bill that are there without your knowledge.
The president said his administration has created regulations to reduce hidden and excessive fees on cable, travel, utilities, online ticket sales, and even credit card late fees.
My administration announced we're cutting credit card late fees from $32 to $8.
Under the rule, credit card companies could only charge what it costs them to handle a late payment, and no more.
Credit card companies don't like it. But I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk fees I'm eliminating.
That rule never went into effect. Industry groups led by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce sued to block it, and a federal judge in Fort Worth put it on hold. It's one of several cases brought in Texas federal courts recently that challenge Biden administration regulations, cases filed by groups representing big banks, major corporations, and other business interests. Alan Kaplinski from the law firm Ballard Spahr says they picked Texas for a reason.
The federal bench in Texas is generally quite a bit more conservative and business oriented than district court judges in California or other blue states.
Industry groups are also suing in Texas federal courts to block an expansion of fair lending requirements, to fight a rule requiring workplace retirement advisors to act in the best interest of their clients, and to kill regulations meant to increase transparency and eliminate junk fees for people buying cars.
The industry and the trade associations that represent the industry don't take lightly the filing of a lawsuit against an agency like the CFPB or the Federal Reserve Board or the FDIC. It was very rare until the last couple of years.
Kaplinski says industries are pushing back against a Biden administration that is testing the limits of its regulatory powers across a number of federal agencies.
They're all have moved very far left.
But Tony Kark has another explanation. He heads the advocacy group Accountable.us, and he points to a decades-long effort to stack the federal bench with judges skeptical of efforts to rein in corporate power.
Because we have the Supreme Court makeup that we do now, because we have the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals makeup that we do now, and these district courts, it is ripe for the right and big corporate interests to exploit that.
Kark says these lawsuits are complicated and legalistic, but the stakes are more straightforward.
In these instances, you have clearly a corporate interest that's looking out for their bottom line. It's looking out for their CEOs, looking out for their shareholders. And that you have the administration that is trying to take on these powerful interests. These measures, they're pro-consumer, they're pro-worker, they're intended to lower costs for people.
For University of California Irvine law professor Dalia Jimenez, the kind of venue shopping on display in Texas right now raises another concern. The tactic is legal and progressives venue shop too, but she says the practice undermines the courts.
We are poisoning the rule of law. The regular person on the street would not think that's fair, and it isn't fair.
Still, she says it's only becoming more and more the new normal, and that isn't great for regular people.
That was KERA's Christopher Connolly. Tonight is the night, y'all. The Mavs are starting their NBA championship series against the Boston Celtics tonight in Boston. If you haven't trekked across the country to go watch, no worries. There will be an official watch party at the American Airlines Center starting at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $10, but sports bars all across North Texas and at the AT&T Discovery Center will also be hosting events. Today is D-Day, and that means it's been 80 years since the Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, taking the Nazis by surprise in the largest sea-to-land invasion ever in recorded history. It ultimately led to the end of World War II in Europe, and the invasion wouldn't have been possible without a really comprehensive understanding of ocean tides. This intersection of astronomy and marine ecology ended up helping soldiers know when to storm the beach and how long they could leave their boats before they were stranded. Today, understanding tides still helps in war, but it also affects global shipping, home building, and contributes to green energy sources. For more, check out some really fantastic reporting on NPR's Shortwave podcast. Fan Expo gets underway tomorrow at the K. Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center, and throughout the weekend, folks will gather to celebrate the fandoms they love and get a chance to meet some of the people who brought their favorite media to life. That and so much more can be found at kera.org/calendar. Thank you so much for starting your day with me today. I just love that you take a few minutes to listen and hang with me each morning. Be sure to subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA newsletter, also by yours truly at KERAnews.org, and check us out on Instagram and Threads at KERATX. I'm Katherine Hobbs. We'll chat again tomorrow.